Now, we do have the clip of Obama's response coming up that actually sounds very reasonable and fair, what he said. But again, it's all a disingenuous psyop. I predicted he would do just this last hour. Before he spoke, I said that Obama would come out and do exactly what he has now done. Well, you know, this is a local issue, so we weren't really in control of it, and we need to investigate, and the police need to be transparent about what happened to Michael Brown, who was shot last weekend, and we also need people not to use this as cover for looting or vandalism and, you know, for attacking police officers. There's never a good time to do that. And then he goes on to say, but we also need to not have the police attacking peaceful protesters and the press just doing their job. But meanwhile, the surrogates are out there all running the PSYOP. While he's calling for calm on Trayvon Martin, the Justice Department's in there actually organizing the demonstrations, trying to get riots going. Because if he can get a bunch of black people rioting around the country, that'll get folks off the subject of Fast and Furious and open borders and the rest of it. We're going to go to our guests in a minute, but it's not good luck, they say. And I'm not superstitious, but I am, just to be safe. People, I'm not superstitious, but I am. Knock on wood. I think being superstitious just means you don't take everything for granted. You're not arrogant. I found some of the smartest people I know are superstitious. They say you don't toast with water. So I'm going to put in a Super Male Vitality for my lunchtime dose into this filtered water. And then I'm going to put a squirt of Survival Shield X2 in there and stir it up. And then my new super product, the secret product, that's going to be coming out in a few months. I'll put a squirt of that in there. And this is my little cocktail, even though there's 0 alcohol in it, that I'm going to have from all natural gifts that God gave us. Absolutely delicious. And I'm going to be enjoying the rest of that while we talk to our reporters. But again, I toast Jakari Jackson, Joe Biggs, Josh Owens, Kit Daniels, Adon Salazar, Kurt Nemo, Leanne McAdoo, Marcos Morales, Rob Dew, Darren McBreen, John Bound, the entire crew in here. Just everybody. I need to go through the whole list, but especially the folks that were out there in the field last night and my reporters that were writing about it at 1 a.m., Kit Daniels and others, did a great job covering what happened so far. And we'll have more coverage tonight on the Nightly News and throughout the evening with our reporters who have chosen to stay in Ferguson for the foreseeable future while this unfolds. I know Jakari and others have got to come back and take care of their dogs and stuff, but we need to have another team go up to Ferguson. If this continues, I'm going to go up to Ferguson probably next Monday. It's just a hop, skip, and a jump up there, so we're going to do that. Now, I've done 1 hour and 37 minutes of broadcasting today, and I've not plugged anything. It's very expensive to send reporters all over the country and all over the world. It's very expensive to run this operation. So we don't get Rockefeller funding or banker bailout money, stimulus money, or taxpayer money like NPR and MSNBC. We are funded by selling high-quality water filtration at the lowest price, free market. High-quality, groundbreaking supplements at the lowest price, InfoWarsLife.com. Molon Labe designer belt buckles and George Washington belt buckles. Now, continuing here, folks, it is absolutely essential that you support us. And you've been doing that, but if people did a lot more with your free will, you're buying war bonds or basically working in a factory building bombs so that our pilots can go out and take on the enemy. I mean, that's the equivalent of what you're doing when you buy the high-quality coffee or get the high-quality 1776 products at made-in-1776.com, when you buy a ball cap, when you buy a Molon Labe t-shirt, when you buy a book, when you buy a film, when you buy the magazines in bulk at cost, you're helping get the word out. It's all about fighting the tyranny. And the money goes right back into this operation, right back into funding our operation and expanding what we're doing. InfoWarsLife.com, PrisonPlanet.tv, Infowars.com, PrisonPlanet.com. And even if you can't buy the fine products we've got that I'm extremely proud of. You can tell friends and family about the broadcast. You can spread the word about the show, and people will come here and get a perspective they're not getting anywhere else that has shown itself to be the zeitgeist on the pulse of what's happening. And I'm not like a lot of other talk show hosts. I want to just win this thing. I don't want to live in a big mansion and have private jets. Not that that's bad if you make the money on your own. That's great. That's how the economy works. My treasure, the fortune I want, is to defeat these tyrants. I want to win the game. It isn't a game at all. It's life. It's my soul, my children's soul, your children's soul, your future. It's about being honorable in my time alive. It's about being real. It's about being a man. It's about being fearless. It's about being strong. It's about conquering fear. That's why you see me out at public events where I'm being death threatened with no bodyguards, and why I advertise that. And it's not because I have a death wish. It's because I have transcended the fear. I have transcended the weakness. I am ready. You understand that? And I don't look forward to anything happening, but I am committed. I will not be a coward. I will die a man like my ancestors before me. That's what matters. It comes down to that poem, Child Roland, the Dark Tower Came. And there they were all to see the last of me. And dauntless, I lifted the slug horn to my lips and blew. Child Roland, the Dark Tower Came. You understand that 14-minute poem, if it's read by book on audio tape, you can find it on YouTube. If you understand that poem, you understand it all. It's what it's all about. And if you're a woman, it's about being beautiful when you're young and being a great mother as you grow, and then being someone who guides your family and is a rock through hard times to build the next generation and move forward as well. That's what will give you fulfillment, not trying to be a tart when you're 60 years old. Like Joan Rivers, you know, is like 80-something. Those are the most vapid, empty, unhappy people because they worship the flesh and the low-level bestiality that this whole system creates and pushes, turning us into animals instead of reaching for our higher angels. I'm going to stop preaching. The point is, we bring on all these other hosts, all these other people, and I celebrate James O'Keefe, even though Project Veritas has never promoted anything we've done. I celebrate other talk show hosts that tell the truth and get the word out and are venues to enlighten others. We got George Norrie coming on last hour. He's a big man. Nobody, when he first started having me on 13 years ago, it's got to be that long ago now, wild time flies. Nobody has other talk show hosts on with people like George Norrie and myself. No national host does that. Michael Savage does it. More and more you see it happening because people, it isn't about the ego of the show. It isn't about who's the biggest. It's about having a future. It's about taking care of your children and grandchildren. It's about sharing info and trying to save the world, the people in the world, from the world. And, I mean, it is a real pleasure, and I relish seeing Jakari Jackson and Joe Biggs and Josh Owens do an incredible job out there in Ferguson, Missouri. And to see them get shot with rubber bullets and hit with tear gas and to have the courage to do what they did and to be honorable and have the moral authority through it. It is so good to have kinsmanship with people like that. That's what life's all about. To have a feeling of satisfaction at their chivalry for all of our freedoms. That's what builds a civilization. I mean, the footage we've got in HD that's coming in now from the guys is like something out of a movie. We're showing some of it now. The war zone and how the police have been militarized and prepared for the public. I guarantee you, reading about Western justice and stuff, 150 years ago, one sheriff in a place like Dodge City or Tombstone could have walked, one Texas Ranger could have gone up to a crowd like that in almost every case, talked them down and gotten it to stop by promising to get justice, by bringing community leaders in to see the evidence, by firing a cop or arresting a cop that shot somebody innocent. They would have had respect. This whole thing would have been shut down, right? Bam, just like that. Instead, you see the spectacles like this that can cause this country to burn and start a civil war that the globalists want, that I've been warning you about. Let's go down to the sweltering heat, 105 degrees, in the middle of Missouri with Jakari Jackson. Jakari, tell the story now of what unfolded yesterday. Then we'll talk to our valiant cameraman, Josh Owens.
Jakari Jackson reporting from Ferguson, Missouri. You know, as you just mentioned, Alex, it got pretty hot last night. And it's not just the heat from the summer. It was the heat from the flashbang grenades that set this whole thing off. Maybe you can hear behind me all the people driving by. They're honking. They're showing their support for the community. It's a large church group out here who are out here trying to wake people up, not just to the police state, but also trying to get them spiritually ready for the things to come. But going through the story last night, we got here probably about 4 or 5 p.m., and the protesters peacefully at that time were gathered right down the street from where we are. And they were in the street. And the police come up with small numbers. They say, hey, can you guys get out of the street? You're blocking the street. So the protesters eventually get on the sidewalk. That's when they